how's it going? Today we're planting up 3 different container combinations for full sun out in our garden. I've got all the plants grouped together here. We're following Proven Winners National Recipes of the Year for 2023. That's what they call them. We typically grow them 1 year ahead of schedule just to get some experience with the grouping of plants, because oftentimes they're pairing together things that I haven't thought to pair together, and I think that's kind of the whole goal, is just to give you ideas and inspiration, but that way we can get some experience and share with you how they've done for us. So these are going into fairly key areas in our garden too. I'm really excited about it, and I do have a picture here, which as I'm thinking about it, we could probably pop a picture up on the screen. Will be a little bit better than my printed picture here of what we're hoping to attain, like the results we're hoping to attain out of each one of these arrangements. So let's start with this one here first. So this one is called Misty Seas. If you were to plant them in a hanging basket, and this goes for all of them, you would probably use those 3 plants without this centerpiece plant that they suggest. We're going to be planting them all in containers on the ground, so I am going to be using the centerpiece plant. But what we have here are all Supertunia Mini Vistas. So if you have a Supertunia in the Vista series, whether it's a mini Vista or a regular Vista, they're exceptionally great for landscape planting, like in a flower bed, in the ground, and in containers as well, like we're going to be doing today. In fact, we planted this one, the Mini Vista Indigo, down at our local community college last year, and it did so well. It grew beautifully. We got tons of compliments on it. And the unique part about this plant is that you don't really see it now, but as it starts to grow and as you get further into the season, this plant takes on 3 different colors. So you'll see flowers in that deep indigo color, then you'll see kind of medium purple, and then a light lavender. In fact, I think it was almost named Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, but it was kind of a long name for a flower, but it was a really, I think, a great name for this one, but it just performed beautifully. Then this one here is a Mini Vista Violet Star, which kind of marries these 2 flowers in color. You've got the white flower with the purple stripes right there, kind of a smaller, daintier flower, which is nice. It's a little bit of a textural difference, and it almost has kind of like a little notch. Like it's a little bit, well, or it appears to be more finely cut on the edge than the others, even though I think the other ones have that. But you just notice it in this one more. Then we have Supertunia Mini Vista White, which this one is just, you can already tell, like look at this plant. You can tell it's wanting to go for it. So it'll be exciting to see what happens. And then the centerpiece plant here is a Juncus called Blue Mohawk. So if you get close on this plant, look at the shape of the leaves. They're like tubes. They're round, really interesting, really soft, and they'll grow 2 to 3 feet tall. So I think that'll be a really fun centerpiece for this arrangement. This next one is actually my favorite. This is called Acapulco Sun, right? Yeah, Acapulco Sun. Love the colors here. I like kind of the warm pinks. We've got a Super Bells called Coralina, which is a really bright saturated coral with that yellow throat and kind of like a deeper, almost red, right around where the throat starts. So that brings a little bit of a bright touch to the flower. Then we have Supertunia Bermuda Beach, which this is a little bit like, if you were to put it up next to the Vista Bubblegum, you would definitely be able to tell that this is on the warmer side of pink. So it's got more of that salmon kind of coloration, and I love that. Then we have Superbina Peachy Keen, which you can see in each bloom group here, you've got different colors as well. So you have the lighter peach, then the little bit deeper, and then almost the orangey color in the center. And this one you can tell is a little bit newer, but then you get a really interesting, really varied look from just one plant. And then for our centerpiece, we have Stratosphere White Gara. Isn't that gorgeous with these flowers? Once this grows and fills in, Gara gets big, you guys. I can't remember the exact size on this one. Maybe we can put it on the screen, but it will be a beautiful, striking centerpiece, and they bloom all summer long. The last one here, this they call Rockin Rush, which I think they got from combining the 2 names of these plants right here. Because we have Goldilocks Rocks Bidens, and then we have Supertunia Raspberry Rush. So Rockin Rush. But this Supertunia bright pink with the yellow margin and the white, or not yellow, white, what am I thinking? White margin and white striping, but we pair it with the bright yellow Goldilocks Rocks Bidens, which this is kind of like a semi-double. It's got the petals up here and then kind of overlapping petals down below. Blooms all season long, but the cool part about this plant, not only the flowers, but it's got a really fine kind of ferny leaf structure, and I love that. Just brings a different look to your container. And the spent blooms, don't detract from the plant at all. And none of these have to be deadheaded, by the way, in order for them just to keep on blooming their heads off. But I love it when spent blooms, especially on daisy-like flowers, don't detract from the overall look of the plant, and these don't. It's awesome. And then we have a Superbena called Stormburst, and you guys, this plant is a beast. So we've had this in containers, but we also planted it in the landscape at the end of our west side garden in the ground. And those plants were subjected to, well, full sun all day long. They didn't get a break from it, which is really what all of these plants really thrive with. But it was also subjected to all kinds of wind and blowing dust and all kinds of environmental things that were just tough. I would think tough on most plants. These just, they seem to love it. And they just got huge and full of color. Centerpiece plant here, Skyrocket Pennisetum, which is really awesome because this is a thick, really striking grass. But if you were to plant, I think, like a purple fountain grass as opposed to the green with the white stripe, I think it might be a little bit more of a contrast difference, and it might detract a little bit because I think it might fight to be the star of the show as opposed to like the flowers being the star. But I think that this will bring the dramatic height and texture while not taking away from the beautiful, bright color of all these flowers. Visit the Plant Connection in Ishpeming, Michigan for all of your Proven Winners plant and gardening needs.